Boston is the main embarkation port for US East Coast cruising. What's it like to get to the ship? In this video, we'll give you the airport transport options, our experiences at 2 nearby hotels with some cool surprises, and the port itself, both coming and going. Let's dig in. I'm Troy, and this is the Port Lowdown. If your ship is leaving from Boston, we're talking Canada destinations like Halifax, Charlottetown, and so on, Maine, Rhode Island, and Bermuda. Bermuda is actually more north, surprisingly. Anyway, the city is pretty compact and loaded with history, of course. In our Boston Port of Call video, here's a link, we discussed using public transport to get to the main sites in town. Here, we're concerned about starting and ending our journey here, which, on paper, looks really easy with Boston Logan Airport so close to the port. 3.4 miles or a 15-minute drive south. However, there's some caveats to note. You get off the plane and once outside the terminal, have a bunch of options to pick. Taxi and Uber will have designated pickup areas outside, of course. This is definitely the go-to option if your cruise boards the same day, you have a lot of luggage, or a larger group. Based on the 3.4-mile distance, you can expect to pay about $25 to $35 US for a taxi. Same travel time for rideshare, or you can generally expect to pay around $20 to $40. Now, we always default to rideshare personally. It's the easiest and most direct for us, but there are several looks good on paper options to be aware of too. There's public transport options to the port, but none are direct. They'll either require transfers or extended walking from the closest bus station. Now, for example, the free Silver Line bus SL1 gives you two options. Drop you at the closest stop, Silver Line Way, then walk 14 minutes to the port, or transfer at South Station to the SL2 bus to take you to the nearest bus stop across the street at Dry Dock Avenue. These options will take about 25 to 40 minutes depending on traffic, transfers, walking time, and so on. Another seemingly good idea is a boat. Hey, it's just across the harbor, and there's a ferry landing you can get to with the free airport shuttle, Route 66. And there's a boat landing, EDIC Pier, within walking distance to the port on the other side. Prepare for some heartbreak, my friend. There's no public ferry that goes directly to the port. The one seasonal route provided by the city goes nowhere near the port. There are several companies with QR codes posted at the dock, but they have fixed routes that go to tourist sightsee destinations like Long Wharf and not to the Cruiseport. However, this water taxi service will arrange a pre-booked trip to EDIC once a day at 11:45 a.m. Price as of 2025 is $35 per person. The water taxis, however, might be challenging for people with mobility issues since you'll need to navigate narrow gangways. So, given all of that, it's hard to beat the taxi or rideshare for time efficiency. Plus, we keep underestimating the convenience of having lots of luggage in a car trunk versus pushing on the sidewalk or schlepping it on public transport. The money spent on car options is, well worth it for us in this case. Now, we happen to stay overnight at one of the most airport-centric hotels in the area, the Hyatt Regency Boston Harbor. You can take the free airport shuttle Route 66 to the boat dock, which faces the hotel, or simply get the free airport shuttle. The hotel is expensive, but it's a one-of-a-kind vantage at the base of the airport and in full view of Boston Harbor. For an overnight splurge, this is a good one. For food, however, you're pretty much stuck with the hotel offerings, but the view is to die for. But short of the water taxi, just plan on a regular taxi or rideshare to get to the port. Then with that, the next morning, we called our trusty Uber to the port. And yeah, it looks painful, but it still only took about 25 minutes. The port itself has two main terminals in a long dock building along Falcon Avenue. T1 at the east end and T2 at the west end, fronting a small parking lot. T1 is mainly for port visits, with minimal facilities for baggage processing. So you'll likely arrive at T2, which you can't miss but the clogs of cars and buses collecting at the front. Controlled chaos at the drop point, since everybody collects at the front. It's a quick transfer of bags though. Just be ready for a quick jump and get out to get someone's attention. Once that's done, it's a fairly simple but longish process depending on the crowds. Line up and enjoy, during hot days, these splendid air blowers. Way to go, Boston. Along the way, you have bathrooms, Wi-Fi, and vending. Lots of benches too, which come in handy. If you're lucky, the cruise line may offer up cold drinks too. Everything leads to these escalators, with epic crowd views to a pretty spacious and efficient processing area. Lots of seating. clean restrooms, and helpful staff. From our Uber arrival to boarding the ship, it took us about an hour, mostly due to the long lines in the front. By the way, if you're getting good DIY info so far, please like and consider subscribing. We're building a library of port reports, ship tours, and tips for your next cruise adventure. Now going out, pretty routine. Compact bag retrieval area, and cabs and buses are all along the same front as going. There's also this parking lot just outside of T2 for transfers that don't meet here, like rideshares. By the way, remember that water taxi company? They do offer a pretty nifty service for disembarkation, a cruise ship special. They do a water taxi pickup from EDIC near the Cruiseport to their office at Rose Wharf, where they'll store your luggage for you for the day and then transport you to the airport at your convenience. Since the port does not provide luggage storage, this could be an option if you want to combine some touring with a later flight. For us, we did things a little differently, choosing to stay overnight. We also chose to walk the seemingly short 18 to 20 minute distance to the hotel, the Element Boston Seaport District. It's all flat and fairly close. Seems like a no-brainer, but add lots of luggage and lots of road crossings and uneven sidewalks, and that short walk gets a lot longer. Or at least seems to be. Next time, we'll just take another Uber. The hotel itself is a boutique-style place, with stylish surroundings and really nice spacious rooms. Laundry is also down the hall as well. But the really cool part of this location is directly across from the lawn on the D. An open space for all ages play. Really, imagine a playground anyone can enjoy, especially the big kids. My son got a lot of mileage out of it. It's definitely a worthwhile place to visit and hang out if you're in the area. Finally, we have a grab-and-go sandwich recommendation to take on the plane home. Give this mainstay deli, Jay Payson's son, a try. Sandwiches here are delicious, huge, and served up by a friendly staff. Boston made for a great overnight stay both coming and going from our cruise. Outside of the obvious history, there's lots of hidden gems to discover. By the way, if you haven't seen our first Boston port of call video, check it out here where we go into more depth about public transportation from the port to downtown and some tips along the way. Have you been to Boston on your cruise journeys? Let us know in the comments if there's anything we missed or experiences you've had. Happy travels!